Hi there, this is Dr. Mo, and we're going to talk about drawing simple shapes in your games. Now, the helper library for Allegro that helps you draw these simple shapes is called Allegro Primitives, and you can see that I've included it up here. Anytime that you have a helper library, you do need to turn it on in the properties. So I'm going to right-click on Allegro Projects, that's the name here of my program. I'm going to go down to Properties, and you should see a new menu called Allegro 5 here, and just make sure Primitives is turned on. As I've mentioned in a couple of the other videos, by the time you're making full games like Pong or Breakout, you're going to see a lot of things turned on in this menu. Okay, moving on here. As always, I'm going to start off by initializing Allegro. And then, anytime you have a helper library, you generally have to initialize it as well. Make sure you do that after you initialize the general Allegro library. Okay, we're going to create a 500 by 500 display window. That's going to be my game screen. Remember, you can call this anything you want. We're going to wipe the screen white this time. 255, 255, 255 is white. And now you can see the three functions I use from this primitives library. They should be pretty obvious what they're going to do. Draw a rectangle, draw a filled circle, and draw a triangle. Notice that this guy has a filled in it. You can also do that here. Pretty much every shape has both a filled and an unfilled version. The only real difference is that if you're drawing the unfilled version, like here and here, you're going to have an extra parameter after the color that tells you how wide of a line you want to use to draw in your shape. So this isn't filled in, but I do have a 10 pixel wide line outlining my triangle. If you hover over these functions, they tell you, they'll remind you what they want as parameters. So if you take a look at draw a rectangle, it wants float x1, y1, x2, y2. These are the top left corner and bottom right corner. So I can't really show it here with the mouse, but it's similar to like if you're in most programs where you left click on your mouse and you drag it down and you have a rectangle that you've highlighted. It's kind of like that. So this is my top left corner, 20/20, and my bottom right corner is 50/50. Draw a filled circle. The first two coordinates there are going to be my center, so I've centered at 300, 300. And then I'm going to have a radius of 50. So all the way across my circle is going to be about 100 pixels, which isn't actually that much. And then finally draw a triangle, takes just the 3 points, the 3 corners of the triangle. So my first one's at 80, 100, my next one's at 200, 400, and the final one is over 500, down 100. Okay, so let me show you what this looks like. There we go. So you can see my triangle, my filled circle, and my rectangle up here. Also remember that order does matter. You can see that the circle is behind the triangle. That's because we drew it first, and then we drew the triangle, and then we put all of them onto the screen at once. So remember that order does matter in terms of what's overlapping with what. Okay, your project for this one is to basically recreate this, but with your own design, and then explain the steps of creating that picture in your blog. Let me know if you have any questions. Good luck.